Welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the guest posting pipeline spreadsheet. Now, we don't have a fancy CRM to organize everything and so on, because we're doing everything for free this time. And so I wanted to prepare a little bit of a organizer for you so that you can stay on top of your guest posting and make sure that you get the most result, you don't forget to follow up, and you kind of have a bird's eye view of where your guest posting campaign is. So I highly recommend that you don't necessarily do guest posting all the time, but you do it in batches. And so maybe you're gonna do it 3 or 4 times a year, but when you do it, you're gonna outreach to a lot of people. And it can be pretty overwhelming to know, where you're at with everyone and so on. And so that's why I highly recommend that you use this spreadsheet to actually stay on top of everything. So to actually use this spreadsheet, there's gonna be a link to it at the bottom of this lesson. Then you won't be able to edit it. So you need to click on File, make a copy, and make a copy inside your own Google Drive. Google Drive comes with Gmail, so you should not have a problem using it. It's free, and you will be able to edit the copy. So that's how you're going to be able to use it. And let's just talk about each section and how it works. So basically, it is a pipeline, which means that you need to go from left to right in terms of the steps you need to complete. So first, well, you're gonna do some prospecting and you're gonna find some websites that could be interesting. And so really the first, 5 columns are just here for that. They're here for you when you're prospecting to fill information about the websites that seem interesting. And the next lessons are gonna be about finding these websites. So don't worry right now, but I need to tell you how you use this information. So when you find a site, you're gonna be putting the name. So let's say you found Authority Hacker. And then you're gonna put the URL of it. So let's say http authorityhacker.com. Domain authority, I think we're like 33 or something. Contact name, that would be me. And if there's no contact name, that's fine. You can just put a little thing like this, so you know that you've checked it out, but you just couldn't find a contact name. Contact email, if you can find an email, is great, so it would be good. Otherwise, you can put the URL to the contact page if there's a contact page. So that's what I recommend you do. You put one or the other. In my case, I'm gonna put my email. And that's basically it. So you would just fill all this information as you're doing your prospecting and looking for opportunities. You don't bother with the other ones. And I recommend that you batch things in terms of prospecting. So maybe find like 50 opportunities, I don't know, like 30 to 50, and just fill that up. Simple, right? Then what you're gonna do is, in a lesson coming up, I'm gonna show you the pre-outreach activities that you should do to build a bit of rapport with the website before you actually email them. So things like follow them on Twitter, things like share some of their content and drop a comment, that kind of stuff, right? And so there's gonna be a list, go and check the lesson, and then once you're done with all the activities, you just click on this little arrow and you click done. So you know that you've done it for this site, but maybe not for the second site, etc. So you keep on top of what you've done and not done. Then what you do is, once you've done your pre-outreach activity, well, you need to send your first email saying, hey, do you guys still take guest posts? Here are my ideas, right? And I didn't put follow-up here because the follow-up is done with Yesware. If you remember, in the tools section, we talk about setting reminders inside your inbox so you don't have to track it in a spreadsheet, because that becomes really messy. So make sure that when you do your initial outreach, you actually have a reminder 1 week later to say, hey, did you see my email? And then what you need to do is you basically need to tick it when you have done your initial outreach. So click on the little arrow, click done, boom, done, right? And then people will either get back to you or not get back to you, or say yes or say no. In which case, they're basically gonna say yes or no to you doing a guest post. So there's a part of negotiation and you're talking with them a little bit at this point, but overall, the answer is yes or no, you can guest post. So it's really simple. When you reach an answer, you will basically have, yes, they want my guest post, or no, they don't want my guest post. So let's say in that case, they say yes. If they say no, well, it basically stops here. You just stop working on that site at this point and you don't need to keep going. So if it's no, basically this is irrelevant. You're never gonna get there, right? But if they say yes, well, if you have gone through the content creation blueprint, you see that we use Trello for editorial calendar and we highly recommend it. And you can actually copy the URL of your Trello card. So if you are outsourcing content or just keeping it for yourself, you can actually put the URL of the content on Trello as a task, because you have to create content now they want your guest post. And so you would put that here. And so I'm just gonna put google.com to tell you it's a URL. Right? And then what you would do is once your content is ready and you're happy, well, you need to send it, right? So it's going to be blocked here until you're basically sending it. Once you send the email saying, hey, hi again, here's the content for the guest post, well, you just tick that, right? Boom, the content is sent. And then, well, what they will do is on their side, the site that will host your guest post will review the content and say, hey, we like this content, or no, you need to change it. Whatever it is, you basically need to have them approve the content you've sent and say, yes, we like this content, we will post it at this date, or we'll post it sometimes in the next 2 weeks or whatever. And then here you would say yes. Until then, you just say you stay here and you keep negotiating until they approve it. If you need to rework on it, then basically you just need to work here and check that. And then once they approve it and they say, yes, we will publish this, then you do that. And then obviously there's quite a bit of time quite often between the time people approve the content and the time they actually publish it. So that's why it's good to keep track that they've said yes, but they haven't published it. And when it's published, you say yes, and you're basically done with that opportunity. So that's basically how you keep a pipeline. And you can do it for an unlimited amount of sites. You can keep scrolling. These arrows are here forever. And you can add more rows if you need. But that's a really good way for you to build a guest posting pipeline in Google Docs for free. So you can copy that spreadsheet, just go in File, make a copy, use that, and I think you guys will enjoy that. So I hope you enjoy this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next one.